Hello, everybody. Good morning to our West Coast. Good afternoon to the East Coast. Day 3, last day, best day. What do you think, Mets? I mean, they were all really, really good, but
Yes, I think it's going to be the best day because we're talking about marketing on a zero budget. So whether you have a lot of money or no money, it applies.
absolutely. I'd love to know. We got the holidays right around the corner. Are you guys closing the school? What does that look like for most of you? I know, Mets, you guys close for almost 2 weeks, right? All the schools during the holidays?
Our last day is the 21st of December, and we reopen on the 6th of January.
Has it always been like that, or
It's always been that way. Yeah, it's your question's a little loaded, Chris. It's always been that way. However, it always broke me when I used to do that because December for me used to be a horrible financial month. But now we have, as I mentioned, we have over 70 team members in the schools, and I don't know, 45, 50 of them are salaried, and they all get full salary and full pay over the holidays, which makes me feel good because it's not just about, for all of you on here, it's not just about, trying to be financially more stable for you or your team. It's about a work-life balance. So I really love the fact that, we can close down for 2 weeks, let them spend time with their families. And our students and customers understand it's the one time a year that everybody, that we want our team members to be with their families. They work so hard during the year. So anyway, yeah, it's always been that way, but it was always a very depressing time for me going back 25 years because it was
so
hard.
somebody asked, how do we get over the fear of closing for that long?
Well, therapy, I think, is how you get over the fear. Thank you, Tass. Tass must be listening to something else. No, listen, here's the deal that you all have to understand. I want you to make sure you hear this. This is what do we call them again? Pro tip. But listen, if you guys are working hard all year long, right? If you close for 2 weeks, now I do not advise you to just close for 2 weeks unless there's a narrative to that. So number one, our narrative, and we pre-frame this, is it's the one time a year that we want our staff members and families to be together and get some time off because they work so hard. It leads up to it because most of your students, and I don't need you to put in the chat box, my people come 5 days a week. The majority of people come 2 or 3 times a week, the majority of students. So when you're closed for 2 weeks, they may miss 4 classes. Now, those 4 classes, out of the people that miss 4 classes, there's a percentage of those people that are with their families, that are traveling, that wouldn't be coming to class anyway. So we have them make up some of the, an extra 2 classes before the holidays, make up an extra 2 classes after the holidays, and it's not a problem. But parents, customers, and students appreciate the fact that we say, because you know how much parents and students love you guys, love you, the instructors, love the team. So they're happy for the team. They bring gifts in. You guys probably all get gifts from your students, right? They get gifts. So there is no issues at all closing down. The other problem, or the other thing that you got to make sure that you have, is financially, you got to make sure that it does not hurt your business, right? So in our program in MAIA, right, there's a lot of MAIA members on here. If you're a MAIA team member on here, you can put it in the chat box. But December should be your highest grossing month of the year because of how we do our holiday event, right? So December is our highest grossing month. It's our biggest revenue month of the year, which allows us to continue to pay our people, give bonuses out to our people, and give them 2 weeks off, and then come back strong starting in the new year. So Chris, one more thing I'm going to say, because this is probably interesting to you, maybe. But yes, we are closed till the 6th of January. However, on January 3rd, there's a full day training. So the staff is back in on the 3rd doing a full day training, but classes don't resume and the schools don't open until the 6th.
Awesome. Well, I thought the timing of the question was appropriate as we are heading into the holidays. Hopefully you guys took some gold nuggets. I was one of those people as well that, like only shut down Christmas Day. And I had a fear as well. And then we joined MAIA and eventually ended up closing the school for 2 weeks. And not one person complained. Like Metzger said, the parents were actually excited that they got a break as well. I'd love to know. Oh,
Chris, let me jump in 1 second. Listen, this doesn't mean go and close for 2 weeks and the next week and a half, right? You've got to give your people notice. You can do whatever you want in your business and your school. And so I'm going to get ahead of myself here a little bit, but we have a new student checklist. But one of the things that we will cover is, look, we're unlike, team sports, right? This is a lifestyle. And so they train all year. So these are the breaks that we take during the year, and we address that with them at the point of enrollment. And also with your existing students coming into the new year now, you can have that fresh reset and say, hey, this is what we're doing. We've had a lot of feedback, because you got to remember, people like following people. We've had a lot of feedback, and here's what we want to do. We want to give you guys, we realize this is a lifestyle. It's not a sport with a season. So we want to give you time to spend with your family. So this next year, we're making some adjustments, and that's where you can pop in your extended, time off, if that's something that you so desire to do. And yes, parents, I will echo the same thing. We actually had people like compliment and appreciate the fact that they don't feel like they're missing something because we're offering classes over the holiday, and they feel like they had to get their kids there. They absolutely loved it.
Awesome. Before we dive in, Mr. Metzger, do you want to take this question from Mr. Warren Levi? How many paid days off in total for the year does your full-time staff receive?
Yeah, I just saw that, Mr. Levy, I think, but I saw that, and I was reading that. So our full-timers, listen, the longer you work, the more time you get, but our full-time people get full pay on any days that we are closed. So in the first year you work for this, you guys are getting some, if this doesn't apply to you now, hopefully if you scale your business, it will apply to you later, right? But in the first year you work for us, you get full pay all the days we are closed. So for example, we're closed 2 weeks over the Christmas holidays, New Year's. We're closed Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday over Thanksgiving. We're closed some days in the Halloween week, depending on where that falls. We're closed on, President's Day or whatever it is, right? So there's days out there. In year 2, you get full pay when we are closed, and then you get full pay of a week of your choice as well. So then you get a week. But at 5 years, you get 2 full weeks of when you want, and also all the days that we are closed that you get full pay, and it scales. So I don't know how many days it accumulates to quite a bit,
Awesome. All right. Before we kick off, I'd love in the chat if you guys can I'm sure you've had many takeaways, right? Especially seeing Miss Sarah. She's constantly, I know she's got pages of notes, seen her taking notes over the last 3 days. So I know you have a lot of takeaways, but what is your top takeaway so far from day 1, day 2? What is that kind of like one golden nugget that you just cannot wait to implement? Let us know in the chat. This is a good feedback loop for us, especially when we're putting these trainings together, so we know what the most valuable education is that we're putting out. Cash flow comes from your calendar, the 90-day planning. Awesome. I have the 90-day planning. If you guys really enjoyed that, I'm very excited for my session to help you just expedite the marketing campaigns for specifically the 90-day planning, which is great. Planning, marketing, time blocking, 90 days, stats, top 10 foundational components. Awesome. Very good. Keep them coming. All right. Well, Mr. Metzger, I'm about to get started. Anything you want to say before we dive into our 2 training sessions?
Yes, Chris, since I'm so transparent and open and I don't follow, policies and procedures. But I will say this, yesterday, if you were on, we told you about the MAIA program, and we told you about the special offer. And I'm not going to lie to you and say there was this rush of people that it did enroll. But I will tell you there are 6 more spots available, which means 4 people jumped in and jumped on. And I'm going to be honest, I sit and I wonder, I know there's a lot of people on here that are, that are not MAIA clients, and I also know that you have a lot of choices out there. But it's I said it to somebody today. I had a breakfast meeting. I say, what's frustrating is that we know, and when I say we, I mean Carmen, Chris, Tassel, Klingenmeyer, Arsaman, Patino, the consultants, right, on our team. We know how much we can help you guys. And I don't know what I can say or do to get people to be more confident in themselves and more confident in what we can do for you. And Chris, you're always honest. Have we ever done a dollar deal and 50% off over 3 months?
No, I was shocked when I believe you suggested that this was going to be the offer. So
I did that because I knew we were going to be closing for the holidays and I wanted to do something. But I'd love to see 6 more people jump on and let us show you what we can do for you. I mean, I'm just being sincere. It's just a passion of mine to help this industry that has made me who I am today. And I promised during the early days when it was other people that I would always give back to this industry. And so anyway, there's 6 more. Why is there 6 more? If you weren't on, there's 6 more because we do one-on-one consulting, and that's all the room we have currently right now for the consultants to take on because it's a one-on-one call and it takes a lot of calendar time to schedule one-on-one calls, and they can only take so many clients. If we did group consulting, we'd take everybody on. If we did group consulting, I would lower the cost as well. But group consulting is not what's best for you guys. It's just not what's best for you. There's people on here that need to know how to get to school number 2. There's people on here that have less than 100 students. There's people on here that need to know how to develop a team member, a staff member. So it's so specific that I refuse to do group consulting. So anyway, that's all I want to say as we give you more information today. Hopefully the first people to take advantage of it, 6 more people. Would love to have you in and show you what we can do in the first quarter of 2025 and change the trajectory of your business life for the new year. So with that, Chris, let's give them some gold here today.
awesome. And as I do that, Master Madrid said, I need to see to believe. And if you are a MAIA client, if you wouldn't mind sharing your experience in the comments, because I think that could be helpful for anybody that might be on the fence. So let me go ahead and share my screen here.
By the way, I know our clients, I don't know what the word is. Maybe it's humble, but you guys don't see a lot of posts from the MAIA clients on social media. And by the way, I wish they did share because they share in a private group. They share. But if you are a MAIA Elite client and you're on here, can you just put one comment in there, honestly, and about how much you've grown or what it's done for you? As we go through this, you guys watching can look at the comments and see what anybody says, because obviously they could, I don't know what anyone's going to be saying, but I'm just asking if our MAIA clients could just put, if we've helped the trajectory of your business more than you would have thought. So go ahead, Chris.
All right. So day 3, we're about to kick off, and I am going to be touching on AI. This is a very hot topic, buzzword for the year. It's going to continue to be a buzzword going into the next year, and really excited to share exactly how you can use it just to help you buy back your time. And then Mr. Metzger is going to go into recruiting students with a 0 marketing budget. At the end, we'll do a coaches panel for any questions that you might have. And we do have one more giveaway for you. So leveraging AI in 2025. I'm curious, how many of you are using AI in your school right now? Yes or no in the chat. Are you using it? Some yeses, some nos, some kind of split. All right, 100% to a limited extent. I'm clueless and want to learn. Well, then you are in the right spot. So I'm going to share with you some simple ways you can leverage AI just to help you really become more efficient. We're going to do that by unpacking 4 key areas to leverage AI in your school. I'm going to show you some of my favorite ChatGPT prompts. And then I'm going to walk you through one of the 90-day marketing campaigns that Mr. Metzger went over yesterday, and how you can build out all of your marketing actions in under 5 minutes for each one of these campaigns. I'm going to use a live example. It's going to be really cool. And then we're going to talk a little bit about chatbots and voice AI. So I truly like, before we dive into like the tangible agenda, I'd like to have a discussion and kind of where the times are that we're living right now. Because between new technology and AI, I believe that there's never been a better time to be an entrepreneur. But I also know, it's kind of like when the internet first came out, people were really excited, but people were also scared because with great opportunity, sometimes great threats can occur. And I think a lot of people are concerned that AI is a huge threat. It's a threat to jobs, it's a threat to the economy, and even maybe a threat to humanity. I mean, Elon Musk has gone on record saying, within 10 years, he believes the majority of households are going to have literally robots in their house. So, when you think of AI, do you think AI will take over the world? Or do you think that we're going to be dealing with some type of like Terminator movie in real life? And I think some people are really nervous. I think some people are, really excited about it as well. So when we think kind of like the outcome of humanity, we have to start with the origin. And when you think about like, what are you and what am I? Well, first off, we're flesh, right? We're soft tissue. But flesh can be made from latex. It can be made from silicone. It could be made from other materials. They've been making flesh for a long time in Hollywood. We see it in our favorite movies, right? The next component were bones. Our bones are just a structure that our flesh sits on, but we can make bones out of straw and wood and metal. And then the last component is our brains. And people often talk about our brains like it's defined as a computer. And we used to program computers back in the day with floppy disks in the AOL days, and then CDs, and then USBs. And now, like, we can put chips in our head. And when you put all of that together and you take the flesh and you take the bones and you take the brain, you got to ask, like, did we just make a human? And if you say no, it's probably because you say it doesn't have a soul. And I think there's a lot of skeptics out there that believe AI will never replace humans because it doesn't have a soul. And I want you to just kind of think about the word soul, right? We search for a soul mate. We pray for people's souls when they pass. Chicken noodle soup is good for the soul. And every buying decision we make is based on soul. And oftentimes in our marketing and our businesses, we keep trying to sell like the flesh and the bones, which are the features, and we don't sell the soul. We don't sell the personality. And you guys are here today and you've been with us for the last 3 days because these topics literally resonated with your soul. And I believe if you have an understanding of how to leverage AI, it really could potentially change your business and the way that you operate. Because consumers are only going to buy with you if it resonates with their soul. But in business, we don't call it a soul. Guess what we call it? We call it brand. So what is a brand? I mean, your brand is a mixture of pictures and videos and words, also known as content. And that content that we show people dictate how they feel about our business. And if you control the content, then you can control the customer. And if you have a phone and you have AI, you can literally make an infinite amount of content so you can get an infinite amount of customers. But I think one of the big problems is that just not a lot of schools are putting out content. And what you have to remember is no content, no click, no click, no lead, no appointment, no sale. And this is one of the 4 areas for you to leverage in your school, which with AI, which is content. So first area you can leverage AI is marketing and lead generation. AI now is being built into platforms like Google and Facebook to help ad optimization. So you get better results with your ads. You can use chatbots for lead conversions. You can literally have a chatbot start the conversation and book appointments for you. And it works today, and the technology is going to continue to get better, especially going into 2025. You can also use it to make data-driven decisions, such as revenue forecasting. Yesterday, was anybody online yesterday? Yesterday was kind of crazy because Facebook was down. Did anybody experience any issues with Facebook yesterday? We had like tons of trainings for our team that we weren't able to do. And then once Facebook came back up, then Chat GPT went down. And I was putting together, some of this presentation because I really wanted to tie it into what Mr. Metzger did. And I realized oh my, I'm almost like, this is kind of like a crutch for me because I couldn't even use Chat GPT. But one thing that is so cool that not a lot of people know is you can upload files into Chat GPT. So I took my income, my revenue tracker. So I have a spreadsheet that tracks every single month how much revenue we've done since the beginning of the company. And I dropped it into Chat GPT and I said, this is a breakdown of our revenue growth over the years for my company. Please read through the data. And then based off of what you learn, let me know what our 2025 projection should be. And guess what it does? It reads through the data. And I'll show you, I believe I have it right here. So it's a PDF and it's got every single month and the revenue that our company has done. So it reads this and then it's going through and it's telling me, okay, from 2019 to 2020, 200% growth, 86% growth, 58. And then it tells me what my 2025 projection is for revenue based off of the trends that it read. And then it asked, would you like a detailed month-by-month projection? Heck yeah, give it to me. And it does. And this is this is really just the tip of the, kind of iceberg in terms of using Chat GPT for making data-driven decisions. You can take, your traffic stats and put it in there. You can take your attrition trends and have it look over the attrition over year, and it'll show you trends where maybe there's certain months that you have higher attrition and you need to be focusing more on retention events. Okay. So really, really cool. Not a lot of people know that you can, you can do that and you can upload files into Chat GPT and have it read your data. I use the paid version of Chat GPT. It's $20. Highly recommend. It is literally the best $20 that I spend. Okay. You can also use this for content creation, which we're really going to dive deep into this with social media posts, email, text message marketing, video scripts. And yes, while I'm not suggesting you plan out your entire curriculum development and lesson planning, you can absolutely use it to ideate ideas for lesson planning and curriculum, which I'm going to give you an example here when we break down the 90-day marketing game plan. And then finally, customer support and communication. So, maybe you get an email from a really upset parent and you're not exactly sure what's the best way to respond. You can use Chat GPT to do that. You can have, AI chatbots on your website, which can answer frequently asked questions and automated email and SMS campaigns that are triggered off of actions. So there is just so much that you could be using this to ultimately help you buy back your time, right? I don't think any of us opened up our martial arts school because we wanted to spend hours and hours and hours on, writing emails and text messages and video scripts. But this is the world that we live in now. We do live in a digital world. And in order for a lot of these marketing campaigns to be successful, there's some front end work that you have to do. Okay. So for those of you that are new to Chat GPT, and again, if you've been using it, just bear with me because I just want to make sure that everybody has a foundational understanding. GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, and it is a natural language processing system. So if you've ever asked Siri something or asked Alexa to play a song, or maybe you've used a translation app, those are examples of natural language processing, okay? Which basically means the computer can understand the words we use and the way we talk, okay? And you can actually kind of talk to the computer like it's your friend. ChatGPT is trained on an enormous data set. It is connected now to the World Wide Web. In the beginning, it wasn't, but now it is, and it's adaptable. It will actually learn about you and your company, and it's incredibly user-friendly, okay? What's really cool about ChatGPT is customization. You can ask it to change the way that it responds to you. You can ask it to adjust its tone or style. You can ask it to personalize its responses based on past interactions. It also has multilingual support. And this is my favorite aspect of it. It has continuous learning, which it means it remembers your past conversations, which is incredibly powerful. Okay. You can use ChatGPT to ask for definitions, get explanations, find examples, explore topics, generate ideas. But it ultimately comes down to the prompt. So if you've used ChatGPT and you're like, well, what it spit out was crap. Well, my question would be, well, then what did you input into it? Because the better the input, the better the output. And if you want ChatGPT to be able to develop really strong marketing campaigns for you, then you've got to prepare it. And you're going to see through the prompts that I'm going to show you how we prepare it and really just give it context. And then we want to tell it what to act as. If I'm trying to put together, an email marketing campaign, I want it to act like a direct response copywriter. If I am trying to put together an email response to an upset client, I want it to act like a world-class Disney customer service team member. So you can tell it to act as a certain person, okay? And then you give it a prompt, and then based off of what it gives back, you can give it a post prompt to continue to dig in deeper. So I've got 15 ways to use ChatGPT in your martial arts school. This is going to be a little bit like drinking from the fire hose, but we have people that have been using ChatGPT for a while, and I think this will help you with some new ideas. And I'm not going to go through every single one of these prompts. There's probably like 30 or 40 prompts in here. You guys are going to get access to the keynote, but I'm just going to kind of give you just different ideas on how you can leverage it. So one of my favorite ways to use ChatGPT is just to ideate, to come up with ideas. So act as a world-class marketer and martial arts school owner. And what are 30 ways to get 30 new students in 30 days? And let me pull this up. So because you never know, sometimes it does go down. So this is an example. I put this in the prompt, and then what did it spit out? Here we go. 30 effective strategies. Run a back to school or seasonal promotion. Host a free community event. Leverage a social media ad campaign. Launch a referral contest. Partner with local schools. And it goes on for all 30 of those suggestions in terms of how we can sign up 30 new students in 30 days. This act as a world-class customer service representative, martial arts school owner. What are some ways to retain my martial arts students longer? So that's what I asked it. And then I asked, can you give specific examples of each point? This first one, build strong relationships. Greet every student by name as they enter the school and show interest in their lives outside of martial arts. For instance, if a student mentions a soccer game, ask how it went the next time you see them. And it's just going to pump out all of these different retention strategies that you could be using in your school. Okay. This is a fun one. What are some reasons to why I would not want to run an after school pickup program at my martial arts school? Okay. So you can just use it for ideation, help with difficult conversations. Get this one. Act as a world-class customer service representative and martial arts school owner who has empathy. One of my students has a very bad smell to them. How can I bring this up without hurting their feelings? If you've owned a martial arts school for a while, you've probably dealt with this. That is a very sensitive conversation to have. So I asked it, what would I say? So it says, choose a private setting, approach the care with positivity, express genuine concern. And then after it gives me all the bullet points, it literally gives me the example conversation of how I can bring this up. And for some of you, maybe you are just really a naturally empathetic person. And then there's other people like Mr. Metzger who are not naturally empathetic people. Is he paying attention? Oh, there we go. Now he's paying attention. Very good.
Yes, so I heard empathy and I'm like, I'm on the wrong station.
Exactly. Yes. So if Mr. Metzger wanted to have an empathetic conversation, he could use ChatGPT to help craft that conversation. Okay. So it's great for helping with difficult conversations. You can pump out blog content, act as a blog writer, generate a list of potential blog topics related to teaching children martial arts. And then once it gives me all of those topics, I could say pick a topic and then provide an article outline. Then generate the first draft of it, and then, identify any grammatical errors. And within a couple of minutes, you can literally have a blog post. Now, what you don't want to do is just copy and paste and post. You need to make sure that it's in your own brand voice. I think we've all been on social media and we've seen posts, and you see posts from people that you know in real life, and you're like, person does not talk like that. That is not them. And it's just so obvious that it's AI, right? So you need to put it in your brand voice. But what's so great is now you are no longer starting with a blank sheet of paper. You can use it for search engine optimization, creating landing pages, grammar correction. So I love this. If maybe grammar is something that you struggle with and you have something you write up, you can take what you write up, put it in ChatGPT, and ask it to identify any grammatical errors. Email marketing, this is huge. Act as a world-class direct response copywriter, provide subject lines that will have a high open rate for martial arts schools, for a martial arts school who's trying to sell a 4-week trial for $49. So that's one that I plugged it in, and here we go. It's giving me subject lines, which are one of the most important aspects of getting your emails open, and it's specific to the offer that I wanted. And it gives me urgency-focused ones, value-focused ones, curiosity-focused ones. Now you're not having to sit there, scratch your head like, what should the subject line be? You can ask ChatGPT to give those to you. Social media posts. What are some engaging and creative social media post ideas I can use for my martial arts school? What are 20 martial arts quotes that I could use as social media posts? YouTube, if you're big into YouTube and putting content on YouTube, asking it to come up with the video titles, which ultimately will get people to watch, and the video descriptions. Instagram, same thing as Facebook, helps us come up with captions and reels and video topics. Your Google business profile. If you have not optimized your Google business profile, this is definitely needs to be one of your action steps. Act as a search engine optimization expert and help me optimize my Google business profile for my school that offers Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, kickboxing, wrestling, and MMA in Tampa, Florida, that specializes specifically in kids programs. And then ask it, what is the description that I should put in for my school? So now it's going to build out the description for your Google business profile, keeping in mind search engine optimization, which basically helps you rank higher when people are searching for things like martial arts near me. Okay. Ever want to write a book? Maybe you want to do an ebook. Maybe you want to do a lead magnet. One of the things that we did is we have a life skills program at Gracie Pack called the Code of 26. I'd like to write an ebook on our life skills kids program at Gracie Pack called the Code of 26. What are some titles I could use? What could the chapters be? Can you provide an outline for each chapter? FAQ page content. Oftentimes we have them on our website, so you can have it develop the FAQ content. Nomenclature for events, right? We're doing the same events over and over and over again. I mean, maybe you've done member appreciation events over and over and over again. Ask it, we're hosting a member appreciation party at my martial arts school. What can we name it? I really love ChatGPT for nomenclature. This is, I think, one of the things that I utilize it very often for. Video scripts. If you're running paid ads, we know that video ads are going to produce higher quality leads. Well, what do you say? Well, ChatGPT can write out that video script for you. HR and legal. Anything that you do that has to do with legal, I would recommend running it by your lawyer. But one of the things that I have done and that's helped me with is if I just ask my lawyer to do something, he's going to charge me, per hour. Where instead, if I can say, hey, this is something that I'm interested in, can you just audit it and let me know if I'm in with compliance? Now, instead of him charging me for 4 hours for creating the document, he only charges me for an hour for reviewing the document. Okay, so I've done that multiple times. And then also a summarizer. So you can input notes and summarize the most important aspects. You can tell it to do it in bullet point form. Maybe there's a book that, maybe you're not a big reader, but somebody suggested a book and you want it to give you the bullet points. You can ask ChatGPT to do it. So like I said, it was going to feel like drinking from a fire hose, but we have a lot of different kind of levels of people in here in terms of who has used AI and who hasn't. And what I just wanted to present was just some use cases on how you can use this to buy back your time in your school. And you guys are going to get access to these slides so you can go through every single one of these prompts. Okay. So let's put it into real action. Yesterday, Mr. Metzger went over the 90-day marketing campaign. And for January, one of the things that he presented that you can do is a parent workout, the Kick Fit parent workout. So let's say you determine, okay, in January, we're going to do this Kick Fit parent workout. Now I want you to think of all of the things that you have to do in order to get the word out, to get awareness on this specific event. Well, you probably should send emails and text messages, probably going to want to make Matt Chat announcements, probably going to want to put it on social media. Depending on the event, you may or may not want to do paid ads. If you do paid ads, you may want a video script. And maybe you want your team to hit the phones and make outbound phone calls to all of the parents of your students, inviting them to do that. Well, how long would that take, having to do all of that? I mean, for some of you, this might take an entire day. It might take multiple days. But if you follow the prompts that I give you, this can literally be done in under 5 minutes. And I give you the prompts for every single one of them. So I told you in the beginning, when you're using ChatGPT, you have to prompt it. You have to give it context. Otherwise, the output isn't going to be good. So the initial prompt, and you would just, put your school name in, put your date in, put your hours in. But my academy, Gracie Pack MMA, is hosting a free Kick Fit parent workout. And if you wanted to charge, you could charge. In this example, I did free. It's taking place on Saturday, January 18th from 10 to 11. It's for our parents of our students and their friends to come in and have a fun workout to help alleviate stress and get in shape in a safe and fun environment. They should wear comfortable workout clothes. It's taking place at our academy with our address. This is important. This last part, guys. Note and acknowledge, do not respond, wait for further instructions. What I am doing is I am training ChatGPT and teaching it and giving it context. Now, once that is done, and look, noted and acknowledge, I will wait for further instructions. Well, thank you for being such a great listener. So now the next thing that I'm going to do is I know I got to write emails and text messages. So I'm going to take this prompt here and I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it in. I need to put together the marketing campaign for this and need your help. I need you to write a 3-part email campaign and 2-part text message that we can send out to the parents for our students. Act as a world-class direct response copywriter and write 3 emails and 2 texts. Use emojis and keep it lighthearted. And what do you have? There's my email. It even links to it, which is pretty cool. There's my second email, and it just keeps going and going. Now, again, you'll need to edit some of this in terms of maybe that's not how, you would speak in sending an email, but it gets it like 80% of the way there, and you're not staring at a blank screen. So it just gave me the 3 emails, gave me the emojis, has all the logistical information in there, and now it gives me the text messages. Guess what? Your emails and texts are done. Something that would probably take you over an hour, we just did in 5 minutes. Okay. Well, next up, are you going to want your instructors to make announcements at the end of class to the parents, inviting them? Of course you are. So I'm going to say, now write a Matt Chat that our instructors can say, pitching this parent workout to the parents in the lobby at the end of class. It should be short and take less than 30 seconds. So now instead of just telling your team, hey, make announcements, we can give them a framework. And, maybe you don't want them to just read from a script. I wouldn't. I could ask it, okay, that was great. Thanks. I always like being kind to the robots, just in case they one day take over. So, say your pleases and thank yous. Can you put this in bullet point fashion for me? And now it's going to take what it did, and it's going to say, here's the Matt Chat pitch in bullet point format for easy reference. And it just takes it and puts it in bullet points so it doesn't feel like an actual script. Matt Chat is now done. What's next? All right, we know we got to put this up on social media. Now, write up to 3 social media posts for this event. Pull in stats on workouts and New Year's resolutions and highlight how this class can help them, and use emojis. Did you know that 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by February? Let's make sure you aren't part of that statistic. So it took exactly what I asked it to do. And now I've got social media post 1, social media post 2, and social media post 3. How are we feeling about this? Is this like good? Am I wasting y'all's time? Is this helpful to kind of show you how to do this? Okay, awesome. Very cool. So now we've got the social media post done. All right. Well, you know what? I want this to be kind of a kick butt event. So I'm going to take $150 and I'm going to put some ad spend behind it. Cool. Well, now write an ad I can use in my Facebook ads. Be sure to call out the audience, hit the pain point, highlight our benefits, and provide logistics with a call to action to register for the event and use emojis. And now here we have it. There's your Facebook ad copy, and it's writing it out in the exact framework that I gave it, which is a framework you would want to use in your ads. You need to call it out. Now, look, it says attention parents in Tampa. How does it know I was located in Tampa? Because the very first post that I gave it, I taught it. That's where I am. Okay. Cool. So now our paid ad is done. All right. Let me do this one next. So I also know that when using paid ads, videos have a tendency to work best. So let me tell it to write a video script. Now, write a video script that we can use in our online ads. Follow the GREAT framework. Grab attention, restate the pain point, explain unique selling points, actual proof, and then tell them the example of what to do next. I don't need the video cuts, just the words we can say in the video. Here we got it. Hey, parents, are the holidays still weighing you down? It's time to kick stress to the curb and start the new year feeling stronger, healthier, and happier. Restate the pain point, explain the unique selling, give actual proof, and tell them what to do next. Now, I just got to film it. Now, yes, you have to film it, but there are softwares out there where you can create avatars of yourself and you wouldn't have to film it. I think it is really a time vampire and a time suck and nothing that school owners should really be spending their time on right now. But it is just really cool that you could copy and paste this and have an avatar of yourself talk the words out, and 90% of people wouldn't even be able to tell that it's AI. Pretty crazy. Okay, last part. We know we got to hit the phones. So let's tell it. Write a phone script that my program director can use to call the parents of our students, inviting them to the event. Follow MAIA's 4 steps of selling when you write the script. Step 1, state the reason you're calling, sell it, call to action, and close it. And now it's going to write the phone script that my program director can pick up the phone with that framework of the 4 steps of selling. And now my team has everything that they need in order to make this parents' workout, the Kick Fit workout, successful. Pretty cool. Something that would probably take you many hours. Metzger, you unmuted, so.
Yeah, I freaking love that. I'm on AOL and I've never seen anything like that in my life, Chris.
Well, thank you.
No, you know what, Chris, as you were talking, listen, everybody, I use ChatGPT. We use it. We play with it, right, for marketing. But Chris, Tassel, where are you, Tass? I'm giving you guys a peek behind the curtain. Tass just Tass just texted me and said, you look intrigued, right? Yeah, I look intrigued, everybody, because you remember yesterday, I think I went
processing.
Well, you see this stat sheet? This is all 9 locations, January through November. This sheet, these are the numbers that I look at every day, just for FYI for you guys, because I didn't even ever think of this until Chris's presentation just now. But this has each school broken down, monthly billing, the difference from 23, average quarterly revenue, new students, upgrades, renewals, active count, students lost, student value, attrition. Well, Chris, while you were talking and my brain started spinning and I'm sitting at my desk and this is sitting there, I called Brian and I said, Brian, can you input this into ChatGPT? Tell it to analyze all the data. Where's our strengths? Where's our weaknesses? And what's your forecast for 2025? Well, then I picked up the phone and I just sent it to Mr. Peterman, our Vice President of Business Operations. I said, you got to check your messenger. I'll call you later. I mean, guys, that was worth everything right there. If you're not, I mean, that was just unbelievable. Thank you, Chris, for getting my thoughts going on ChatGPT and how we can utilize that even more so than I even thought possible.
Awesome. And guys, it's free, but pay the extra $20 for the premium. That's $20 you'll spend. And also, what Mr. Metzger just did is what we call speed of implementation. And that's what I truly believe is the difference between good entrepreneurs and great entrepreneurs. Great entrepreneurs, they shorten the distance between the idea and taking action on it. Okay. So hopefully I have convinced you that you should be having some more Chat GPT in your life. The last thing I want to touch on as we wrap up here is the power of chatbots, and we're going to touch a little bit on voice AI. So chatbots. Most of you have experienced chatbots, whether you're, on your banking app or American Express or gone to my car dealership. There's a chatbot that I can just speak with somebody instantly, right? And this is actually, it's not as complicated as most people think it is, but you can easily put chatbots onto your website that can start conversations. And the one thing that I didn't like about it in the past is that oftentimes these chatbots would not collect information, contact information. Now, chatbots, in order to activate the chatbot, you have to give name, email, and phone number. So if the person just ends up stopping talking to the chatbot, you still have the lead information, which is awesome. So one of the problems that I had is at Gracie Pack, we closed on Saturday and Sunday, and our team worked from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. And leads would get an automation and they'd often get a response, but then no one responds via text until the team gets back into the academy. And we were getting a lot of inquiries on the weekend and at night. And especially at 4 p.m. when it's prime time, if you have leads coming in, it can be difficult, especially if you don't have a team and you're a one-man or one-woman show, or your program director is, doing renewal conferences and upgrade conferences, and, they're greeting the new prospects that are coming in for the introductory lessons. Those leads often don't get follow-up quick enough. So one thing do I have any Chipotle lovers in here? Anybody love Chipotle? Anybody like Chipotle? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I like Chipotle. I like it better than most. How do you feel when a restaurant prioritizes the phone call orders over you being there in person? That, like, Chipotle does this. They can have a line out the freaking door, but they have more people handling the phone call and Uber, orders instead of helping people that are in front of them. Well, I never want our members to feel like we're prioritizing, a new member over them. And I truly believe that in any type of recession, it's next level customer service that will ultimately get you through it. So we ended up building an AI booking bot at GrowPro to help school owners with this issue of lead follow-up and booking appointments when you're closed. I mean, if you are closed on Sunday, you're closed on Saturday, or maybe you don't get into the academy at 12 p.m. Maybe you have a full-time job and you can't get there until 5. Can you leverage AI to help you book appointments when you are unavailable? And the answer is yes. So we actually built this on the back end of our high-level CRM. This is a service that we offer for our clients, but I just kind of want to showcase like where we're at in today's AI technology and also where it's going. And what's so cool is the same way that I trained ChatGPT, that I walked you through that, we can train it based off of your school as well. And we can actually pull in all of the data from your website to train the bot too. So we have an AI booking bot chat widget on our website. So this is our website here. And in the bottom corner, you can click on it. And I said, one of my issues with chatbots in the past is you couldn't collect their contact data. Well, now you can. So they have to put their name, email, and phone number before they send the message. So we still collect the lead information because I want my website generating leads. Okay. So now when somebody puts in, I'd like more information for my child, and this is just an example, of course, I'd be happy to help. Could you please provide me with your child's name and age? Additionally, what are your overall goals for your child in martial arts? His name is Cruz and he's 5. I'd like him to be more confident. That's great. Cruz is a perfect age to start martial arts. Guys, this is a bot. This is not a person that is answering this, okay? Would you like to schedule a tour of our facility to see if it's a good fit for Cruz? Yes, I would. Do you have any availability on Wednesday? Absolutely. We have available times on Wednesday. We have Wednesday, November 22nd at 3 p.m. or 4 p.m. Would either of those times work for you? Yes, 4 p.m. will work. What should Cruz wear? Anything special? Well, because I said 4 p.m. will work, it books the appointment. And now it says You're all set. We can't wait to meet you. You'll have an opportunity to meet our chief instructor, Coach Derek. This is where we're located. Please have your child wear some comfortable clothing. Answered the question that I asked as well. Okay. So that was just an example, and we can test it for our clients so they can see what it works. This is an actual booking that happened. So AO is my program director, Anna Otero. And she said, would November 1st at 4 p.m. work for you? How many of you have ever been in a text message conversation with a lead, and then all of a sudden they stop talking to you? Let me know. Does that happen to anybody else, or is that just us? We're like going back and forth, and then all of a sudden they just stop talking to you. Yeah, right? Well, the next day this person responded, right? Previous day at 5:51, we texted them. The next day they responded at 1:36. My team doesn't get in until 2 p.m. Sorry for the late response. November 1st works, but I won't get off work until 4:30 that day. What time do the classes usually start? Well, Anna wasn't in work yet. So guess who took over? The chat bot. No problem at all. November 1st, we have a class starting at 5 p.m. Would that time work for you? Yes, that works perfectly. Great. I've got you booked. We look forward to seeing you. Is there anything else I can assist you with? Perfect. Do I need to bring anything? Conversation continues. What you need to understand is this is not where the conversation ends. Even though it was booked via text message, we still have to pick up the phone and call them. Okay. And I think that's where a lot of schools that are like getting excited about AI, you still have to have that human connection. Okay. So we have example after example after example about like how this AI is booking appointments, but you still need to confirm it. Even if you have automations, because one of the things is when you use AI, in order to stay compliant, you have to tell it that it is speaking to a booking bot. So that's something we had to train into the booking bot. We call it Budo booking bot. We have schools that come up with all different names. We've got one school that calls their Titan booking bot, but you still have to have that human connection. Okay. So I just kind of wanted to showcase where we're at now and how much better and stronger this technology is getting. And voice AI is here as well. I have listened to many voice AI conversations, and a year ago there were like these super long awkward pauses, right? It would like the person would say something and then it would take like 4 seconds and then the AI would talk, and it's like that's kind of creepy and weird. Now that is almost instant, where the tweak has to be made is in tonality. Just where it's at right now, sometimes the tonality feels off. But I truly believe that by the end of 2025, going into 2026, utilizing voice AI for lead qualification will be something that schools will be able to do. And the technology is just getting better and better. So I'd love to know one takeaway from this session in terms of, maybe it was ChatGPT, maybe it was a specific type of prompt. How do you plan on utilizing this? Maybe it was for email marketing, maybe it's social media posts. Let me know in the chat. All the above and more. Booking bot, video scripts. Booking, not leveraging it enough. Very cool. Okay. What I do want to say, guys, is this stuff is really cool, right? And I'll be honest with you, I wanted to have something about AI in here because I think a lot of people are interested in it, and it is a buzzword and it does get people excited. AI is not going to solve all of your problems. There are foundational systems that you have to have in your school and that you need to prioritize over messing around in ChatGPT. But hopefully what I did today is open your eyes on how you can take a specific marketing campaign. You could do this for the piano Blaster Wars. You could do this for the Valentine's Day piano. Every single one of the marketing campaigns that Mr. Metzger went over with you yesterday, you can walk through the steps, and I gave you all of the prompts. And like I said, when we send out the replays, you guys will get access. It's in the online portal, and you'll be able to download it. And now you could just copy and paste and use those prompts. All right. All right, Mr. Metzger, that's all I got.
My second biggest takeaway was that ChatGPT can give me empathy. So that was
you should use it.
Thank you, Chris. All right. We just had 4 cancellations now from everybody. Hey, by the way, you were talking about good entrepreneurs and great entrepreneurs and action takers. I'm the annoying guy. Somebody during your session, we just had another one sign up for the special, which is fantastic. So there are now 5 spots from the last I've heard, which is great, guys, because I know we can help you. So with that, let's see if I can help you guys get some new students without breaking the bank. Is that what we're running right into, Chris? We going right into that now?
Yes, sir. Zero marketing budget.
Okay. All right. So let's share the screen here. Oh, what is this? Chris, why is it saying only the host can share in the meeting?
Try now.
Oh, thank you, Chris. All right, everybody. Stay with me. There it is. All right. So recruiting students with zero marketing budget. So let me go over a couple things in the concept if you want to get new students in your school. And let's just assume worst case scenario. You have a full-time job. You get to your school 15 minutes before classes start. You work until 9:30 at night. You're exhausted. You go home, you eat your dinner, and you repeat. And you just don't have time to do everything, right? But we still need to figure out how we can grow our schools or get new students. So there's internal marketing and there's external marketing. The first thing we're going to hit is internal marketing. Now, please understand the concept. Don't pay attention to the graphic, especially if you're an MMA gym or a BJJ school. That's all editable. You can change it. First one, and then a lot of you have heard this before, but maybe if you hear me explain it again in the presentation, it'll click and it'll remind you, man, we haven't done this in 2 years. Why? Right? And that is this: instructor for a day, right? And again, this is a little bit more tailored to kids, right? But we talked yesterday about a buddy day a little bit. We talked about a buddy day, and I said consistency, and I said probably most of you don't have success with buddy days. You don't get a lot of people to show up. And if you remember, I mentioned to you that you need to give them a reason. And Chris mentioned the 4 steps of selling, right? Which is state the reason, paint a picture, or quote, sell it, sell the idea, right? So state the reason, paint the picture, have a call to action, and then close it, close the sale, right? And the other thing you have to understand is you're always selling. Even if you're just teaching on the floor and you're teaching a technique, you got to sell why you're teaching that technique. Tell me why I'm learning this thing. Why is this beneficial for me, right? You're always selling. So instructor for the day is this simple. When you have a kids class, at the end of the class, and I'm going to make it really simple, kneel everyone down and say, hey, before I dismiss all of you guys, let me ask you a question. How many of you would like to be a martial arts instructor someday? Raise your hand. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, not everyone's going to raise their hand because not everybody's thinking they want to be a martial arts instructor. And then we say, well, let me ask you this. How many of you would like to just try it out and be an instructor for one day? How many of you think you can be an instructor for one day? Does this stuff look easy? Teaching martial arts? Raise your hand if you think you can be an instructor for one day. Well, now what you're doing is you're anchoring emotion. And instead of dictating an announcement, you're engaging. You're talking with, you're not talking to, right? Or talking at. Don't talk at your people. Talk with your people. So now they're raising their hand. And then I would say something like this. Well, here's the deal, guys. Next Saturday or Saturday, January blank, we're going to have a class. It's going to be from 12 to 2, whatever time you want, everybody. It's free. There is no cost. We're 10 of you or 20 of you, depending on your mat space and how many people you want to get there. The first 10 to enroll and sign up, and here's the QR code to sign up. But once it's 10, it's shut off. We'll schedule another one. You will have an opportunity to be an instructor for a day. But guys, what does every instructor need? And you ask the question. every instructor needs students. So if you don't have anybody outside of the martial arts school, because we want you to bring in non-martial arts students, friends, family members, classmates, people that have never done martial arts, because we want to see how well you can teach them. You can bring up to 3 friends, up to 3 students for you. So you can bring 1, 2, or 3 friends, and they are going to be your students. And what we are going to do is we're going to teach you some techniques that you will be responsible to teach your friends or family members or classmates or whoever it is you bring. We will walk around, and then you are going to test them on the techniques you taught them. And if they pass, your friends, your students, will be presented their first white belt, and you will be presented a certificate that you were an official martial arts instructor for 1 day at Championship Martial Arts. How many of you think you can be an instructor for a day? How many of you would like to try it out? Raise your hand. Well, guys, remember, it's first come, first serve. We only have 10 spots, 20 spots, whatever spots. And by the way, that's real, because if you get 30 people to do that and they all bring a student, you got 60 people on your mat. So it's not a ploy. You need to limit this. And if you want to do one every month, fantastic. So by the way, you want to get new students? Well, there is nothing better than having referrals in your school where they come, they do a fun martial arts class, they're working with their friend or friends, because they might have more than one friend, right? They get presented their white belt, they see their friend who invited them get a certificate, and then you give them whatever offer it is that you want to give the buddies, right? Whatever it is, the 4 weeks for $49, a free week, or you follow up. Because the other thing that we do for the instructor for the day, what we do, and you don't have to do this, just understand the concept, is all of the instructors will get to break a board. Now, for MMA gyms, I remember I worked with Greg Jackson, world famous MMA coach, great guy, had a school, worked with Greg, and he's like, well, we don't do board breaking. I go, do you hit Muay Thai targets? He goes, yes. I go, well, those are softer than boards. Why don't you let the kids break a board? And he kind of smiled. I said, do you do elbow strikes, knee strikes? Well, let them do a knee strike through a board. Let them do an elbow through a board, because kids just like breaking things, right? So we'll let all the instructors break a board. And then we'll say to all the students, now, guys, now that you had your first class and you've earned your first belt, you have qualified now for you to break a board, but we're going to have to do that on your next one-on-one evaluation or intro lesson when your parents are present. And if how many of you want to break a board? We asked the question. They're all raising their hand. We'll make sure you tell mom and dad, if they're not with mom and dad, to call us to set up an appointment, and we'll get you in and we'll let you do your first class with a real certified instructor and break a board in front of your parents. But we don't wait for them to call. We will call everybody Monday and say, hey, I know Billy came with his friend Jason on Saturday and did his first class. We promised him we'd let him come and break a board. It's really a confidence booster for the kids. And we'd love to schedule his first, trial lesson or whatever it is for him to come and break a board and show you what he learned on Saturday. Is today at 5 better or 6:30 better for you? And we go for the close. That is one example of how you present a glorified buddy event. Does everybody understand that? It's a glorified buddy event. So it doesn't take the place of our consistent buddy weeks once a month, because that's no extra effort to have leads come in every month, whether it's 1 or 20, right? But this is a buddy event, and it really has no cost. You're going to get people in the door. Next, we talked about referral rewards, right? And I told you that you should have a consistent referral program in your school, consistent. And if you don't want to invest in a prize wheel, which Chris had mentioned, you drill it into the wall. The reason the prize wheel is great, everybody, let me just explain the why behind this. And by the way, that's one of the things that we're very big on in MAIA. We always want to explain the why. We don't want to just tell you to get a prize wheel, drill it in, and let the kids spin the wheel and win a prize. There's a reason behind that. And the reason is your referral reward system is predicated on how many know you have a system, how many know you have a referral program. Well, when you have a big prize wheel that people see every single time they walk in your school, they see this wheel, and you have a sign that says referral prize wheel, spin and win. Everyone's going to know you have a referral program, right? And anytime someone refers a new member, there's dollar amounts on that wheel. You might have two $10 spots. You might have a couple $20 spots. You have a $50 spot. You have a $100 spot. Chris, can you mute everybody? So Pete, when someone refers someone, I say, before we dismiss, guys, Johnny referred a student. Now, listen, this is important. This presentation is important. Johnny referred, or Sarah referred a student to our school that enrolled. And you guys know, we appreciate anytime someone refers someone to our school. It lets us know we're doing a very good job. And as a way of saying thank you and making it fun for our students, we let you spin the wheel, because it's just our way of saying thank you. So let's cheer Sarah on. Let's hope she gets the $100 spot. She spins the wheel, whatever it lands on, we give her cash right then and there in front of everybody. And we high five her and we say thank you again, and we appreciate it. That's a referral system. That's always in place. A referral contest, okay, is where you say, for example, parents, students, we have a goal for January. And our goal, I'm making this up, is to enroll 30 new students, because we want to make a bigger impact on our community. By the way, that's the way we grow. That's the way we stay in business. But we know we can't do it without your help. So to make it fun and to see if we can all rally and get behind this, we're doing a referral contest. Anytime you bring a friend to class with you, you get a ticket. Or I'm sorry, every time you come to class in January, you're going to get a ticket that goes in the prize box. Anytime you bring a friend with you to class, you'll get 3 tickets. Now, don't pay attention to the 1, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 7. That's all editable. This is just a template, right? So you'll get 3 tickets if you bring a friend. If your friend signs up for one of our trial programs, you'll get 5 tickets. If your friend enrolls on a full program, you will get to do the ticket tornado, which is we'll get everyone in the school to count to 5 seconds. We're going to hold a roll of tickets. The student will grab one end, and they're going to spin in a circle and wrap themselves as many tickets as they can in 5 seconds. And they get to put all those tickets in the prize box. And at the end of January, we're going to raffle off these prizes. Now, the other part of this presentation is you have to have the prizes displayed, okay? I know, some of our schools in New Jersey raffled off car-sized drones to fly around the city that the kids are winning. I'm kidding, guys, if you're following the news with the drones in Jersey. But anyway, we did raffle off drones. So some instructors would have a drone as a grand prize, and they'd fly it in the school, to show the kids. We do a free we do a couple free t-shirts. We don't just do one. We'll have a couple free t-shirts that you can win, a free private lesson you can win. The biggest, most exciting prize is we allow us, 1, 2, or 3 students. We'll pick 3 grand prizes to pie your instructor in the face, where they can fill up a tin can with whipped cream. We put down, of course, garbage bags and stuff, and they can pie an instructor or a staff member in the face. Why do we do that? It creates emotion, and it doesn't cost us anything except whipped cream and a tin foil pan, right? But it's very exciting and fun for the kids. The other thing that does is we will put a list of names on our mirror. We'll write with a dry erase all the staff members or leadership or helpers. And we tell the students, if you win the grand prize, guys, after class, go put a check mark next to the instructor or helper or staff member that you would pie in the face if you win the grand prize. And it just makes it more fun. And they start putting check marks underneath the instructor's name. So however you want to do that, whatever you want to budget, but that's a referral contest. Okay, that's that one. Next, I mentioned this yesterday and I got ahead of myself, but offering a free fitness and self-defense seminar. Now, if it's not like the holidays for January, one of the things you could do is just put a fishbowl out in your lobby, tell all the parents, and by the way, all your adult students as well, all your adult students. Hey guys, we're going to be raffling, we're going to be picking 5 business cards, okay, or 5 names out of the fishbowl at the end of the month, even if it's an adult student, where whoever we pick will have the opportunity for them and up to 20 coworkers to do a free fitness and self-defense seminar for them and up to 20 coworkers. We're going to pick 5 names. If you're interested and you think this is something your company would enjoy, just drop your business card in the box or drop your name in the box, and we will pick out 5 winners, and then we will schedule a date and a time to set that up. Now, if I pick out 5 winners and I start making the calls and asking them how many people, here's a flyer, take it to the office, we need RSVPs, but how many people do you think may attend? How many people are in your office? If somebody says, well, we sell insurance and it's me and 4 others, well, then I'm going to combine 2 or 3 businesses into one event, right? I don't want to do an event for 4 people, right? So I want to do it up to 20 people. But again, if you don't have people walking into your school, you need a mechanism of going out and getting them and bringing them into your school, okay? Next, this is a little bit out of the box thinking, okay? Host beneficiary programs with businesses. You guys know that when you go to a restaurant, for example, and right now is the time of the year. If you go into a restaurant, a lot of restaurants are saying, you know, buy $100 in gift cards and then you get a $20 free card to use in January or whatever, but they're like credit cards. They're plastic, right? There are companies out there, and my guys would know, so don't ask me, you can Google it unless I leave for a minute and go ask them. But there's companies out there that can take this graphic or whatever you want. This is all editable. And they can put it on a plastic credit card. I'm looking in my office because I had a box of them here somewhere. But it's like a gift card. It's a real gift card. What it is not is cardstock paper, you know, cut. That's not what it is. It's plastic like a credit card. And what you could do with these cards is you can give them to the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, Boys and Girls Clubs. You can give them to, if any of you ladies or guys go to nail salons, get your hair cut, any businesses that focus on tips, right? And businesses specifically that have consistent clientele. Like my wife gets her hair done, right? Well, she's been going to the same lady for 10 years, right? So I just assume that most people like that, or when you get your nails done, you find somebody you like and you kind of go, so they have a little bit of a rapport with their clients. You could go into these businesses and say, hey, we're a business down the street. We'd love to see if you'd be interested in this at all. I know you probably have some clients that you've been working with for a long time. We have these gift cards. The value, by the way, if you see this here, the value of this gift card is $250 as an example. And it includes a month of classes, a uniform, a private lesson, 2 buddy passes, and a family member pass. But ma'am or sir, you can sell these if you have a client, you know they have kids, or if they've ever been talking about getting in shape, and you're talking to them if they've ever done martial arts. You could sell them one of these gift cards for $20. If you want to sell it to them for $5, you can sell it to them for whatever you want, but you keep the money. You keep it. When they give you $20 for the gift card, you keep that money. And then I would think somebody that pays $20 for this would call us and set up the appointment, since they paid money for this gift card, for this, you know, gift certificate of sorts for the martial arts program. The other thing is if you have students, especially if you have students maybe that can't afford to buy their sparring gear or their equipment, guys, here's 5 gift cards. If you know anybody, this is good for a month of classes, a uniform. Sell these for $20. That'll give you enough revenue to buy your equipment, right? Now check with your legalities and all that on if you can have people selling these things. I always ask for forgiveness later. I started doing this. The first time I ever did this had to be over 20 years ago. And I did it with Great Clips. It was right next door to my karate school. Great Clips was right next door. And there was a time where I had hair, where Lori used to cut my hair, by the way. So I asked her, hey, do you want to see if you can sell any of these? And you keep it. You keep the money. And things would just trickle in. It's not like you're going to get 50 new students every month. But the more you work this and the more you go back and meet with these businesses just to check in with them once a month and say, hey, just want to see how it's going. By the way, remember, you could sell these for $5 or just as a service, you can give them free. If you want to give these away free to some of your clients, by all means do it. Is there anything we can do to help you guys drive more business into your business? And you stay consistent. For those of you, again, worst case scenario, that don't have time to market. Back in the day, that was me at one point. And I started thinking, I was a full-time college student. I was thinking, how can I create a sales force of sorts, right? So marketing is happening even when I'm not doing the marketing. And this was one of the things that I came up with. This is back in the late 90s. And so you gotta nurture it a little bit, right? So anyway, host beneficiary program. Next. So I'm curious, put in the chat box, how many of you have ever set up a booth outside your school? Not like right outside your door, but maybe at a fair, a farmer's market. How many of you set up a booth before? And how many of you got a ton of leads and no answers and nobody would ever come in and it really didn't work well for you? Let me see in the chat box. Whoop. Let me see. Let's come up here. Let's see. Yes, set up a booth does not work well. Yes, they don't work. 6 a year, always good leads. Booths are my number one generator. Yep. Yes, until you taught me to set appointments. Right. Mr. Miller. Yes. Yep. Mixed success. We do 12-year, get tons of students. Awesome. Well, I'm going to give you a little, oh, we got more here. I bring in 100 leads every booth. Was thrown together last minute, didn't work great, but got us out in front of people. Well, let me give you a secret, everybody. The thing is here's the deal with booths. And by the way, this is how some groups out there will brainwash you in this industry, because what they'll do is people in the industry, consultant groups or whoever, we know what really doesn't work well for this industry. We know. I know for the majority of the industry, referrals don't work well. The majority. Referrals don't work well because they don't know how to do them correctly. But I just know that for the majority of people, referrals don't work well. I also know for the majority of this industry, booths don't work well. So if I wanted to brainwash people in the industry as a consulting company, for example, like MAIA, I can get out there and get on Century and say, guys, are you tired of the same crap that everyone's teaching you? You got to do referral programs. You got to set up booths. That stuff doesn't work. And then what people do is they start nodding their head yes. They're like, yeah, exactly. That stuff doesn't work. You guys want the new stuff. You want stuff that really works, that really gets drive leads. You want to stop doing all that crap that doesn't work. This is stuff that I've heard. And then people flock to this. Well, what people don't ask themselves is, well, wait, does it not work because I don't know how to do it properly? Or does it really not work? Well, by the way, you just saw the comments. Some people said it's our number one way of getting new students. Some people said we get 100 leads every single booth, right? But here's the deal. The problem is I don't want leads. That's the problem. I don't want leads. I want to set appointments. So how do you set appointments at a booth, right? When we do a booth, here is the secret to doing a booth. And again, I apologize. I'm gonna set I'm gonna stop this because I like talking with you all. So here's the deal. Here's the secret to setting up a booth. Number one, you need to have a nice looking booth. Number one, you need to have a nice looking booth. Number two, you need something at your booth that's going to attract people, right? There's a couple things that you can do at your booth to attract people. You can have a big bowl of candy. Come get some free candy. You can have a bob set up. We had a t-shirt made that says, hit me, 20 times in 10 seconds and win a prize. And it's a bob with a t-shirt right in front of our booth. And people want to come up and try to hit the bob 20 times. You can have a cotton candy machine where you're giving out free cotton candy. That's going to get people to your booth. You can have a popcorn machine and be giving out popcorn. I don't care what you do. Just you need something that's going to get people to your booth. The next thing you need is, what is the offer that you are going to be wanting to hand everybody at this fair or festival or farmer's market? Keep in mind, people that go to a fair, a festival, or a farmer's market that you happen to have a booth next to 200 other booths, they did not go there thinking, I hope there's a martial arts booth here so we can maybe sign up for martial arts, right? It's not what they're thinking. But everybody walking by, I need somebody saying, hey guys, here's a special we're doing. How are you today? Hey, how are you? Did you guys get your free cotton candy or free popcorn? Did you guys want to try to hit Bob? As we're handing out these passes. So I need to hand the passes out to the masses because it's a numbers game. So everyone's getting a pass. Everyone that comes to the booth, I'm saying, by the way, this is a special we're running, 4 weeks for $49. However, now that they're at the booth, I'm saying, we are doing a special. Have you ever done martial arts before? No, I haven't. Well, look, what we're doing is 4 weeks for $49, but if you set an appointment to just come in and try a free class, we're going to throw in a uniform, one of these here on the table. I'm using my hand because we always have the uniforms. One of these uniforms, you get a free uniform, and we cut 50% off the special. So instead of 4 weeks for $49, it's 4 weeks for $25, plus you'll get a uniform, and you do not have to decide that until after you take your free class. What's a better day for you, Monday or Tuesday? I have a 5 or a 6:30, which is better? We set an appointment for them to come in. We set an appointment. They don't have to pay me the $25. I'm not taking money. You can if you want to. We don't. We just set appointments, and we reiterate to them, once you come in and do a free class, it'll give you a, now I'm selling it. This is step 2, sell it. It'll give you a great opportunity to see the values and benefits of martial arts, plus see if this is something that Johnny would enjoy. We can't wait to see you Tuesday, and you have to have a call to action. We're only going to be giving out 20 uniforms today, or 10 uniforms, or how many do you have on your thing? Even though they're display only, you need some type of call to action. But the real call to action is you can't overcrowd your classes. You can't have 30 people show up Tuesday at 6 o'clock to try a class with your beginner class. That'd be a disaster, right? So you might say, we only have enough space to accommodate 5 people in each class. I have a 5 o'clock or a 6 o'clock, which is better for you, right? So anyway, you set appointments. Now, there's confirmation calls and reminder calls, okay? The day before the appointment, but I won't call people on a Sunday. So if it's set for Monday, I'm just calling them in the morning, but I'll tell them, what's a good number to reach you, just as a reminder call on Monday to confirm our appointment. So when I get in, I'm not trying to call leads now. I'm not saying, hey, I met you at the farmer's market and you put your name down to get a free bag of popcorn, and I just wanted to see if you'd be interested in that's a lead. I'm not doing that. What I'm doing is I'm saying, hey, Mrs. Johnson, this is Mr. Metzger. I met you at the fair. You set an appointment to come in tonight at 6 o'clock. I just wanted to make sure that Johnny's going to wear something comfortable. And just again, I want to make sure you know where we're located. We really look forward to seeing you. Do you know where we're located? And I'm just confirming the appointment. Okay. Any appointments that I have on Tuesday, I'm going to confirm it. Hey, it was great to see and meet you on Saturday. I just want to confirm, because our appointment spot's filled up. I want to confirm that you want to keep your appointment tomorrow at 6:30 and to wear something comfortable. Great. And by the way, tomorrow I'll call you between 12 and 4, just as a reminder. What's the best number, just as a reminder for tomorrow's appointment? And I'm going to do a reminder call, because you all know you get leads, you get appointments, and you know you get no-shows. You know that. And by the way, so do I. You can do all the reminder calls you want. But what I said on the first day of this webinar is the only thing we can do for you is get the odds stacked in your favor for success. Okay. Now, if you're a BJJ school, you're not giving away a free uniform, because those gis could be $120, right? But you're giving away a free t-shirt. By the way, we're running a special. If you just set an appointment with us today, you come and take a free class, And then if you want to do the trial special, again, not a big commitment, not a big price point. We're taking 50% off the trial, and we're going to give you a free t-shirt. Okay. So my point is don't just collect leads. I love people. There's a lot of people that will brag about how many leads they get. Just tell me how many students you got. And then if you tell me how many students you got, I'm going to say, well, how many students do you have? And then I'm going to say, what are you charging? What are you grossing? Like, you got to peel the onion layers back when you talk to people, right? You ever come to Orlando, or if you call me on the phone, there's no sugarcoating. Here's the stats, right? We'll share it. We're going to give you all the information, right? All right, let's go back to this. And then I'll answer your questions, everybody. I will get to all those questions. So just hang on. All right, next. 4-week programs with graduations. I had said yesterday, our number one way of getting new students are mass enrollments. Mass enrollments, meaning, especially again, let's say you work full time, you don't have time to enroll people. Filter a group of people to a Saturday class and enroll everybody, at one time. So how can we enroll 20 people at one time, 10 people at one time? Mass enrollments. What's the number one way to get people to a mass enrollment? A 4-week program with a graduation. Why? Well, here's a little sidebar for you guys. We do 4-week character education programs at the public schools, on campus, like at the school, right after school. We charge $25 for the kids to do a 4-week course. So it's every Tuesday for 4 weeks, or we'll do 2 weeks and do Tuesday, Thursday, 1 week, Tuesday, Thursday, the next week. Either way, it's 4 classes, right? So it's once a week for 4 weeks right after school, or it's twice a week for 2 weeks right after school. And then that Saturday, the last day that class ends, that Saturday is a graduation for these kids who you just had 4 classes with. That $25 that they pay, by the way, we donate 100% of that back to the public school system. So just to show you, here's a check we presented to the schools. Orange County Public Schools, right? See the amount? $25,000 or whatever that is, $25,660. That check specifically was right before COVID hit, that we had donated $25,000 to the school systems. Why? Because of all these 4-week courses that we were doing over the year, the school year, like the 2019, like we did the whole year, and then we donated a big check. And it was $25,000 to these guys. So if you start raising money for a school, by the way, if any of you go to church and you say, hey, would you have any interest if we did a little character education program for all the kids on Sunday after mass, after church? And by the way, we'll charge for 4 weeks, $25, but we're going to tell everybody, we're going to donate 100% of that back to the church. You want to do that for Boy Scouts, Boys and Girls Clubs? I mean, use your imagination. It's a concept. But when people invest money and they take 4 weeks with you, the likelihood of them coming to their graduation to earn their first white belt and come into your facility now, and all the parents are there, and this is your time to show the values and benefits of your program, and then you do a mass enrollment special. And by the way, anybody that joins the elite program, the first thing you're going to be doing over the holidays is you're going to be watching the 4 core videos, and one of those videos, which is almost an hour, is all on mass enrollments. I mean, so that's why I can't go through all the details, or we'd be here forever, right? So you're going to get that, but that is a huge feeder for us, is doing those things. Now, let's say you're not doing a 4-week program, okay? Well, then we have stuff like this that we do. A school talk on a specific theme. So there's a couple of things here I'm going to tell you. So this is Focus for Better Grades, right? Well, if you guys have any teachers in your school, you can ask those teachers if they would have any interest in having you come out to their classroom for 15 minutes and talk about focus for better grades, or confidence, or summer safety if it's getting towards the end of the school year, or bullying, bully buster, right? Anything, right? And then what we'll do is we'll talk to these kids. There's a whole way to anchor these kids, because obviously the parents aren't sitting in the classroom. There's a way to anchor these kids to go home, tell their parents to call and reserve their spot for this free community event that you will be hosting at your martial arts school. And it's a free, quote, community event for all the kids in the neighborhood. And it's a focus for better grade seminar. And one of the things that we do when we market this is we tell people it's not going to be longer than an hour. It's a free community outreach event that we're doing. We're going to teach kids on how to have better focus at home, better focus in school. We're going to let the kids break a board, which, by the way, Mrs. Johnson, it's very easy, but it's a big motivator for the kids, and it's all about focus and follow through, right? We tie it into the life skills, and we'd like to, and by the way, this is real again. This is real. We only can take the first 20 kids because of mat space. Now, I'm going to tell you that is real, because we have found that once you start getting to 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 kids, your enrollment percentages go way down. We like 20 to 25 at a time. That's it. And we'll stack them. We may do one at 11 on a Saturday, one at 1, one at 3, and one at 5. And once we hit about 20, we're filtering people to the next time slots. Our record from that, from doing a community event like that, not a 4-week course, was we enrolled 49 new members on Saturday on 1-year programs, 1-year contracts. I know that scares people, right? 49 new students on one Saturday, okay? That was the record. Our record for a grand opening that we did when we did a grand opening in one day was 84. We enrolled 84 students on 1-year programs in one day on a Saturday. And it's all through the system of how you present this when they come into your school. And there's a whole system on this. But mass enrollments are the best way when you know how to do them. You know how to do it forever. It may take you a while to get it down, right? But once you know, you have it forever. Last thing I'm going to say, and then I'm going to answer some questions. We had a seminar here in my office 10, 12 years ago. We did seminars for our MAIA. It was a small group of MAIA clients back then. And it was a 2-day seminar. And I heard one of my schools was doing a mass intro, because it's a Friday, Saturday. And I heard one of my schools had a mass intro going on Saturday, the next day. This has to be 15 years ago, actually, because we had after school vans, I remember. So I said to the group, I said, hey, we're going to change up the schedule. How would you guys like to see a mass intro live? And they said, that'd be great. I said, you know what? Tomorrow morning when we get in, we are going to get in the vans, and we're going to drive over to this school, and I'm going to have you guys stay in the lobby area, and I'm going to do the mass intro. Now, keep in mind, I didn't know anybody there, because these were all new people coming in, and I didn't, it was a school I didn't even go to. We had 24, 25 people at the mass intro. 18 people signed up on 1-year programs. They were in line with their credit cards in hand, waiting in line, because at the time we had a credit card machine, one credit card machine, and they were just in line. They were waiting. One of the people at the seminar that was there for me said, Mr. Metzger, can we pay you to come to our school and do a mass intro? I said, you don't need to pay me. I said, I could teach you how to do this. You can do it yourself. Nope, we want you. I said, why spend the money on me? I mean, because for me, it's going to be a couple $1,000, whatever it was back then. I can teach you, you can do it. No, we want you. They talked me into doing it. I flew to St. Louis, and they had a mass intro. They wanted me to do it on a Friday and Saturday. And of course, I enrolled a bunch of people for them. Now, what's the point of the story? The point of that story is when you know how to do it, you know how to do it. How scared would you be if I paid you, whatever it is, $3,000 to come do a mass intro for me at my school? You better deliver, right? I mean, wouldn't that be horrible if they paid me to fly out there, put me up in a hotel, 2 days at their school, and I got 0 students for them? I'm not saying this because there's anything special. I'm saying this because I've been doing this in my sleep. Do you know how nervous I was? Extremely. Just because of the flight over there, and I hate to fly. That was my nerves, by the way. I was 0 nervous about getting results. I know I'm getting results. And for those of you who are in MAIA, you guys have seen my video from like 15 years ago. One of my schools said, Mr. Metzger, you always said that you would come and do a mass intro for us. Will you come do it? I go, when is it? They said Friday. I said, what time? They said 7 o'clock. I said, yeah. Back then, we didn't have the great cameras on the phones. I ran home, grabbed the video camera, said, here, film this because we're going to put this up on our site so everyone can learn from it. Film me when I do this. It still lives there. Tassel, you're on MAIA Edge. Does that video still live there from 15 years ago when I did the open and the close live? Is that?
Yeah, you might not. He's got a full head of hair then, so you might not recognize him.
Thank you, Tass. It's not what I was referring to. Hey, by the way, so did you when I met you.
It's true. It's true.
But here's the deal, guys. Everything that could go wrong went wrong at that mass intro, and it's there. I filmed it. We got, I think, 18 out of 20 students or something to enroll. But you can watch it. It's live. But here's what happened. I do the whole close. One lady raises her hand and said, well, you said 12 months. Do I have to sign a contract? She said that in front of the whole group of people. You'll see how I handled that. Not only that, when I was doing the close, we had a lady that had a 2-year-old. 2-year-old kept running out onto the mat, hitting my legs. And I said, oh, can you just hold on as I'm trying to do the close? That was going on. Third thing, it was thunderstorms outside. It was raining. Doesn't matter. Signed up 18 new students on 1-year programs. So it's just a system, right? So I always tell this to clients, knowledge is forever. You guys jump into the elite program, whatever you learn is forever. You could quit whenever you want, and whatever you learned, we can't erase your memory, right? You got it forever. So with that, Chris, I just want to make sure, I know it's a little early, but I saw a lot of questions coming in. Let's just hit some of these questions from the beginning here. So let me answer the questions here. All right. We try to have t-shirts there if they set an appointment. Great. I don't give anything away until they come in and pay for the trial. From existing, what are the tweaks coaching? Oh, that's somebody asking about. Okay, curious. Okay, that's something else. Free giveaways don't work for setting up appointments. People are always looking for free. Free giveaways don't work for setting up appointments. Mr. Trent said, free giveaways don't work for setting up appointments. People are always looking for free. But here's the deal. So first of all, I appreciate the statement. I don't know what the replies are, right? They do work, when worded correct. Okay, so listen, this is a great example, right? And this is great, Mr. Trent, right? These are the beliefs that we have, right? You know what else is a big belief? Nobody signs up on contracts. For the people who do month to month, why do you do month to month? Because people don't like signing a contract. Well, I have a lot more students than you. Don't tell my people they don't like signing a contract. By the way, we have 150 licensed schools around the country. Then the other thing is, well, if you have good customer service, you don't need contracts. You'd be incorrect. You'd be incorrect on that if you want to maximize. Do you know why? Let me just explain this. So that's what we call a global belief, that free giveaways don't work for setting appointments. Free giveaways by themselves don't work for setting appointments. It is correct on how you word it and how you sell it and present it that gets the appointment. Look, you guys can give me a free tutu and tell me I'll get a free year of dance classes if I set an appointment right now. I'm not setting an appointment. I'm not setting it. I don't see any value in me learning how to do dance. Zero. Now, if you can tell me the value and the benefits, I might say, man, I never thought of that. You know what? I'll come and try a free class. You got to understand, it's not the free giveaways. The free giveaway is called a call to action. to get you to take action. If you're thinking maybe you'd want to try martial arts, it's a call to action. Thank you. But here's the deal, right? With these global beliefs in our industry, it holds people back. And people don't understand. The contract thing, I'm using that because I know that's a very scary pain point for a lot of people. And I know it's a controversial point for people. Contracts, right? You're right. People don't like signing a membership contract. They do not, because the health club industry screwed a lot of people back in the day by signing people up for 3 years, 5 years, and people would never go, and you were locked in, you were stuck. It was a membership. Well, what's a membership? If you guys are charging a membership, you're just like a health club. You're having people pay money each month just to give them the right to come in and do classes with you, right? We do not do that. We sell tangible programs. For example, I'm using this for easy math. My program costs $1,200. It's $1,200. What do I get for $1,200? You're going to learn basic self-defense techniques. We're going to check, if it's a child, we're going to check their report card, how they're doing in school. You're going to get to about an intermediate level or a high beginner level with that. You're going to learn how to common sense before self-defense. If you also get 12 months of martial arts classes as well for this. Well, how much is it? It's $1,200. You want to give me $1,200? Well, I don't have $1,200. That's fine. Do you want to give me $600 right now and just pay $50 a month for the next 12 months? You could do that. No. Do you want to just give me $100 a month for the next 12 months? And by the way, Mrs. Johnson, your time never expires with us. So if you leave for 3 months, even if you make those payments or you pay for your program because you want to finance it, if you come back in a year from now or 2 years from now, you still got those 3 months. You paid for it. That's part of what you're purchasing. You're buying a program. So you got to understand the presentations and how to do that. And then, by the way, we're not going to get into this now, but there's also reasons why having some type of term, there is no debating this, will make you more money in your school. There's no argument. It's data. It's data. There is no argument. And if you do month to month and you have 500 students and I have a term and I have 500 students and you charge whatever it is you want to charge monthly and I charge the same thing as you, I promise you we're doing more revenue than you. There's just, it's been studied. There's no debate on it. I'm not telling everyone you have to do a term, but if anybody here does a 1 month trial, do you understand that's a term? You're committing people for 4 weeks. So if you already do a 1 month trial, I would say, look, let's take baby steps. Would you sign someone up for 3 months? Can you sign someone up for 3 months? And when you see there's no difference, I would say, can you sign someone up for 6? And when you see there's no difference, can you sign someone up for 9? Can you sign someone up for 12? Right? If your goal is to maximize your revenue. If it's not the goal, then we don't have to do that. But if you hire us and say, I really want to grow my business, we're going to tell you exactly the best, most efficient way to do that. Now, do I send people to collections? I do not. Well, why don't I just do month to month? Here's why we don't. By the way, I think I told you, I did $4 a class, pay as you go. I mean, that's what I used to charge, $4 per class. By the way, look, here's one of my ads from the early 90s, right? Read that line right there. Let's see, where are you at? Pay as you go, right there. I've done it. I've done it all. I've done it, right? But here's the thing. Why do people do martial arts? So all you got to do is answer these questions. Why does someone sign up for martial arts? Because something happened or inspired them to get them to join martial arts. Their kid got punched in the face. We should get him martial arts lessons. Billy keeps telling me his friend Jimmy goes to karate. He keeps bugging me. He wants to do karate. He wants to do martial arts. They join martial arts. Man, I'm at work. My kid is just off the charts. They're so hyper that, I heard martial arts helps with discipline and stuff. They sign up for martial arts. But what happens when they get bored? What happens when it's not fun for a minute? What happens when they forget why it is they joined and they're not seeing results fast enough because we live in a society that wants things now? What happens? I'm on a month to month. We're going to take a little break. For everybody that's on a month to month, you don't have to put it in the chat box. All of you on the month to month, I know what happens in the summer. You get people that want to freeze. Even people that have memberships and contracts, you get people that want to freeze. And your membership revenue goes down for the summertime, right? And then, oh, we'll be back. We'll be back. We're going to be traveling, so we're going to pause. And a lot of times they don't come back, right? We eliminate all of this because what parents don't know, it's just the same thing what you guys don't know. It's not what you know that gets you ahead in life all the time. It's what you don't know that holds you back from getting ahead. How many black belts have you promoted in your lifetime, in your career, where somebody got their black belt and said, man, I wish I would have quit 2 years ago. I wish my mom never kept me in this. Zero. The answer is zero. How many of you have promoted people to black belt where them or their family had tears in their eyes because they just couldn't believe they'd gotten there and they've made such a huge accomplishment? These are the things that your students don't know when they get a little bored of karate or your martial arts class. When other things start creeping into their life where they want to do that and they don't want to do you anymore. When you have them on a program and it never expires, you have a higher chance of keeping them. But if they're adamant and they're not happy and there's nothing you can do, we let them go. But what did I say throughout this whole thing? All we do is get the odds in your favor for success. But even if they do quit, we will make more money than you on a month to month. And it's not an opinion. That's the thing. So that what you just witnessed there, folks, is called a tangent. And I just went off on one. So let's just see if we have, what else do we have?
I got some questions here, sir. I got them all listed out.
Yeah, looking for the questions. Go ahead.
Cool. So somebody was just asking if you are, a MAIA client, what are the tweaks in coaching like? There's just a concern because they don't want their curriculum to change.
Yeah. So as I said, I've worked with John Hackelman at the Pit, Matt Brown, who just retired in the UFC, Matt Brown, the immortal Matt Brown, has an MMA gym. He's a client and they just had record revenue. I just talked to them last night. But I also have mom and pop karate, kung fu. Mr. Suhan is on here. He's kung fu. I see Mr. Nepkin's on here. He's karate. It doesn't matter what you teach. You can teach Tai Chi. Business is business. I'm not here. We got to assume that you're good at what you do. We got to assume that you're a good martial arts instructor and a martial artist, because I'm not coming to your school to see that. What I am going to do is whatever you're doing behind the scenes, business-wise, we're fixing the business structure of your business. Business is business. No matter if you're running a McDonald's, a hotel, an airline, or a karate school, there's 3 ways to grow any business in the world. You need more customers. So it doesn't matter what you're selling or what you're doing. Every business needs more customers. You need more transactions per customer. That is something the martial arts industry fails on. They don't get that. Remember how I said your billing should never be more than 50% of your gross revenue? It's because you don't know how to get more transactions per customer by creating value for your customer. And number 3 is you need more money per transaction. Period. That's it. That's business. You want to grow your business, you got to do those 3 things efficiently. So it doesn't matter. You're not losing your identity. If you say, I refuse to do contracts, I'm going to be honest with you. We're going to tell you why it would be better to do a term. I'm not telling you got to do a year. I just told you, let's try 3 months. Are you willing? But if you're adamant, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. That's fine. But I'm going to say that's fine. We're still going to grow your business. We're just not going to grow it as fast with that element out, because I did it. I just showed you my ad. Pay as you go. It's not Mike Metzger's philosophy. It's data philosophy. It's proven. And we can talk about that later. But anyway, you're not going to lose your identity on that. We're just teaching business. Go ahead. Next question.
Well, Metz, we do have about 4 more questions left, but I have been getting DMs for people that were not here yesterday, and they're curious about the offer. So I'm going to drop the link in there, but can you just do a quick kind of overview of what our special offer is?
Yeah, for those of you who are on, don't jump off yet, because I still want to answer more questions that may be relevant to you. But here's the offer. The Elite program's one-on-one consulting. So you're going to get a personal consultant and a scheduled time. They're going to call you at whatever time you agree on. And it's specifically tailored to your business and your challenges. For the first 90 days, they're going to call you every other week. Okay. But you will have access to your consultant in between those calls if you have questions or if you need anything. So first 90 days, every other week. After 90 days, it goes to once a month, scheduled call once a month. You're also going to be getting a call from corporate once a month, scheduled, just to make sure that we're delivering. We want to make sure the consultants are growing your school and doing what they need. And we want to hear from you from corporate. So you're going to have a scheduled call from us as well. You're also going to have a Zoom meeting with me once a month with all the consultants and all of the elite clients. It's an overview of what we need to be focused on for next month. You're also, oh, you want to, there you go. You're also going to get a masterclass Zoom once a month with Chris Rodriguez on marketing and digital marketing every month, a Zoom. All of these are recorded as well. You're going to get the best discounts on Century products. The discountable items, I believe it's like 15% below wholesale is what that is. And you're going to have a dedicated, you know, agent for the MAIA elite clients. It's in the system that you guys get the best pricing on Century merchandise. We also do 3 seminars a year where you get 2 free tickets to attend that. It's a Friday, Saturday, March, July, and October. And those are in Orlando right now. And I say right now because that can change, but right now, this next year, they're in Orlando, Florida. Okay. What did I miss? Oh, you get MAIA Edge, the resource center, the MAIA Edge website, which has everything you need, your 90-day planning, business videos, scripts. It's like a resource center, and that's updated every single month. That's updated. It also comes with a social media calendar that you get access to as well. So that is MAIA Elite. How much does it cost? Normally, it's $9.97 a month. But if you join now, it's $1 for December because you're going to get 1 call from a consultant, and they're going to give you homework to do over the break. So it's $1 for December, and then it's 50% off for January, February, and March. So it'll be $500 in January, $500 in February, $500 in March. And I said yesterday, because we do one-on-one consulting, Mr. Parman said he could take 2 or 3, and I'm in my office, but in our conference room, we have the list of the consultants and how many more clients they can take because it's one-on-one. And we were able to take 10 more people. Since yesterday, we have 5 spots that are taken because I think we had 4, and then another one I think is what it was when they came in. So one person did it when Chris was talking. So there's 5 more spots left before we got to take a pause, and then we'd love to work with you, but we'd have to wait for somebody to leave, move on, or you know, sell their school, I guess. So there it is. What other questions do we have, Chris?
Yeah, we got about 6 here. So for your referral programs, do they earn any money for when someone signs up or just bringing someone to class?
No. The only time we give a referral reward out is when somebody enrolls on a program, not a trial program, enrolls. That's the referral reward program. That prize wheel, you can only spin that if you have a friend or a family member that actually enrolls on a full-fledged program.
Next question, and you touched some of it on some of this on day 2, so I'm not sure if this person was on day 2, but how do you get parents to train?
Here's a secret. Here's an easy one. This is just one, and I'm just giving you the easiest thing. Make it a system. We are big on systems, right? If it's a system, it'll become easy for you. What's not easy is implementing all the systems. But once they're implemented, it becomes easy. So here's an example. The first Monday and Tuesday of every month, as an example, first Monday and Tuesday of every month is parent workout day. So parents, I know a lot of you drop off, but listen, the first Monday or Tuesday, make sure you come in with your student, with your child, because we're going to call you out for maybe 10 minutes and we're going to have you do some drills with your child. It's very inspiring for your child. We do believe families that kick together, stick together. The little analogy, right? And we get parents accustomed to getting them on our floor. A lot of parents won't sign up. And if you don't believe me, go try this out. Go ask parents today, Mrs. Johnson, you've been sitting here. How come you? Oh, I'm too old. Oh, I don't know. I can't do this stuff, right? Excuses, right? But especially going into January, if you get them on your floor, anytime we have them hold a target for their child, we always say switch. Now your child's going to hold the target for you. So parents, what you're going to do is you're going to do palm strikes, or you're going to do, you're going to do some punches. and we're going to do 10 seconds. But before we sit the parents down, we'll always do parents versus kids. So parents, now what I want you to do is partner up with one of the other parents, with one of the other adults, introduce yourself if you don't know each other, and we're going to see who can do the most punches in 30 seconds. Now the parents are like, right, and they're breathing a little heavy, but it's not going to kill them. But they're breathing a little heavy, so now they're like, man, I got a pretty good workout. That was fun. Mrs. Johnson, parents, you did a great job. You really should try our adult program. By the way, January, we're doing a free month for all the parents, no obligation, free month. And if you commit now, we're throwing in a free uniform just to commit to the free month. So my point is have consistency where you're getting your parents on that floor over and over and over, because it breaks the fear barrier. A lot of the parents are nervous or afraid because they think they're embarrassed. They feel funny. If you just get them used to getting on that mat over and over, you'll eventually get students. Now, let me throw the disclaimer out. Is that the way I get my adults, is by doing that? No, that's one way. So like if you do this and you do this for the next year consistently, where you just have them come out for 10 minutes during a class, then they go back and sit down, go shop, go do whatever. Is it going to increase your chances of getting those adults to sign up or decrease? It's going to increase. Is it a guarantee? No. How much work did it take? How much effort? How much money? Zero. There you go.
What happens if the student wants to cancel their term membership?
We'll go through the whys, right? And we'll try to set up a progress check and a mat chat, we call it, because we'll try to, if the child's bored or losing interest, we try to inspire them. The other thing we do, taking it out of context, it's part of the system. Tassel mentioned this on his sheet earlier today. I can't keep track, but Tass, at one point you mentioned the new student checklist. I think you mentioned that today, I think, for something, right?
Yeah, I did earlier, just about you can do whatever. Like, it happened to be for for closing the school down, right? And I said you can do whatever you want as long as you tell students about it ahead of time.
So do you know the best way to overcome an objection, everybody? Write this down. This is gold. This is another system. Overcome the objection before it can become an objection. That's how you do it. You overcome it before it even becomes one. So when we sign people up, we say to parents now, well, geez, if they say it, 12 months, what if he wants to quit? What if he gets bored? If they don't say it, we'll say, now, Mrs. Johnson, I do want to tell you, I'm taking so many things out of the system, right? You got to find out what it is the parent would like to see their child get out of this. I'm not going to go into all that. But by the way, we'll say, by the way, if your child is normal, or if it's an adult, look, man, if it's an adult, we'll say, look, if you're like most people, there's going to come a time in your training where it's going to get a little tough and monotonous. You're going to start getting distracted by other things. You're going to lose focus on why you're joining right now. And I want you to know that's normal. And we know how to motivate you, get you over that hump. We work together because at the end of the day, you told me you want to compete, or you want your child to have confidence, discipline, focus. You want your child to be able to defend themselves, God forbid, if they ever needed to. We got to remember that, but don't panic when your child says, I don't want to go. There's a difference between forcing and motivating. And if they say they don't want to go and you panic and say, we signed up for this, you're going, they're going to start fighting you just to fight you. And that's not what we do. So just know that'll happen and we'll get them over the hump. So my point is, this is all part of a system. So, and by the way, if we can't overcome it, we do not want toxicity in our school. We don't want people bad-mouthing us. If somebody is not happy, just like you in our MAIA Elite program, if you are not happy and we're not delivering, we want to let you go so you could say, wasn't working for me, but they were good. They let me out. But I don't think even people, it's funny when people call me and say, well, can I talk to anybody that's in MAIA? I always say this, do you want to talk to the people currently in MAIA, or do you want me to give you phone numbers and names of people who quit? Because nobody will tell you that I didn't deliver. We'll do our job. You got to do yours. So
we do have a couple other questions, but I want to be conscious of everybody's time and do want to share the free giveaway. So I'm going to drop it in the chat. We really went above and beyond on this one and are giving you the January marketing plan giveaway. So everything that Mr. Metzger went over in terms of January, yesterday with the 90-day, you're getting access to all of the assets that you would need. So we've got an adult ad, a child ad, the parent workout, the Nerf night, the rebreakable board seminar, the power challenge, and the speed challenge. So that link will take you to this, and every single one of these will bring you to the graphic that you can use. And then you can also use the ChatGPT prompts to get everything ready to go. And this is kind of an example of the kick fit that you guys will get access
And Chris,
to.
that's all editable too, right?
Correct. It's all editable. It is the social media calendar for January.
So there you go.
Awesome. Very cool. So there were a couple of more questions, Mr. Metzger. When you take credit card payments, do you pass the merchant fee on to the customer?
Who asked that question? So I want to listen. Hey,
Matthew.
Listen. Okay. Listen, everybody. I don't know what this means to you. For 32 years, 33 years. Okay. I'm pulling this text up. For 33 years, we put on our pricing no interest or finance charges. I'm just being transparent. That was something that we said, if you want to finance your program out over the 12 months with the least amount down and put it, we don't charge interest or finance charges. For a couple of years, I kept hearing, you know, listen, with CRMs and what they're providing, for example, we have an app for all of our students. Some of you may have that, right? We have an app now that they can use. There's no cost. But they said, we've been passing fees on for 5 years, and you should pass your finance fees on because that's all how, you know, not only is it the credit card merchant fee, but it's the app they're getting and all the ease and all this stuff, right? And I said, I just don't know. I said, you know what? Let me talk to all my managers. I need them to be comfortable, right? The manager said, yeah, starting in January this year, we started. We'll do it. I said, the only way I'll do that is if it's totally transparent on the screen where they say, for example, I'm making this up. What do we charge? We charge $100 a month. So on the screen, we don't charge $100. I'm just making this example. It'll say $100 championship martial arts, $3 finance fee, total $103. And the customer sees it. I sent this to Mr. Silverman. We've been absorbing this for 33 years. This is how much we have saved now in passing on the merchant fees. This is how much we saved this year. $125,000 that we have saved now from January to November in passing on the fees to the clients. So the answer is, yes, we passed the fees on. We just started this year, and part of my deal was I needed my team to be okay with it, and I needed to make sure it was completely transparent, and everybody that joined our school sees that at the point of sale. One of the things we don't do is we never do a bait and switch. Tassel mentioned a new student checklist. The only reason a new student checklist came up is because when I had testing fees at one point, I got rid of them for years and I had to bring them back because I was losing money for testing. I had to buy certificates, I had to buy belts, I had all part-time people, they had to work, I had to pay more hours. And I'm like, I gotta have testing fees. I'm losing money like when I do testing. So I would tell people when they enroll, by the way, there's also extra costs you'll incur when you join. There's a $40 fee when you go to your next belt. That includes your graduation, your belt, your certificate, and the testings. Are you okay with that? Yes. And then what happened was, as a father would come in, we'd give him the slip for testing. You never told us there was a testing fee. Well, yeah, when your wife enrolled, no, you never told us. This is, again, 20 some years ago. So I said, you know what? I'm going to have a new student checklist. Besides signing your agreement, I'm going to have a new student checklist to make sure you understand, and you got to initial that. You understand there's extra costs. For example, testing fees, parents' night outs, you know, uniforms, equipment. There are extra costs for that. I understand. Now we have that with the file. I'm totally open and transparent. You guys can do anything you want with your business as long as you're honest and open with the client before they enroll in your school. You can do anything you want. Let the customers decide what the value is. So yes, we passed the fees on now. That has saved us this year $125,000 just January through November in fees. So it's a big, and by the way, what does that do for me? It allows me to pay my people more. That's what it allows me to do, right? So
how are you handling current students who are not paying the fees prior?
Anybody that was in an agreement, they do not start getting fees. When they renew or upgrade or change something or expire and they go, then they'll see that there's a 3% or 2.8 or 2 point, whatever that fee is, they'll see that. But we will give them an opportunity to renew early to stay on their grandfathered rate. However, when the existing students are paying testing fees, buying equipment, that is all, there's a fee in there, a finance fee on that, but not on their membership for existing people. I won't do that. Of course, I wouldn't do that if they signed up on an agreement. We wouldn't do that. Okay.
We're at 2:06, Mr. Metzger. How much longer do you want to go? We do have 6 questions in the pipeline. You want to speed round this? What do you want to do?
Yeah, let me speed, guys. Let me just say this. You can reach out to me or the team. We can answer questions. I'll speed round this, probably without explanation. And some of you will jump to your own conclusions if I don't explain myself on my answers, but I'm going to try to speed round it. Go ahead, Chris.
Ideas for retail when you don't do weapons or sparring gear.
It's all about packaging. Do you do rash guards? Do you do shin pads? Do you do boxing gloves? Do you do headgear? Do you do t-shirts? I mean, there's a million different things you can do on retail. Do you do training equipment for people to practice at home? How do you package that into seminars that you may offer or into your program? Go ahead.
With certain terms, do you include a belt promotion fee to increase that more money per transaction? If not, what else is included in addition to tuition?
Yes, there's testing fees. That includes testings each month, a stripe, which that's just in the testing. We test on portions of the curriculum. It includes the graduation ceremony. It includes, and by the way, our graduation ceremonies, we got to rent out a space because it's usually so big. So we got to pay for that. It includes the graduation ceremony, it includes your certificate, it includes the wristband that goes with the belt and the color of the belt, and it includes your belt. And by the way, we charge $40. It's not like we charge 100, we charge 40. I mean, that's what we charge.
I'm highly considering renaming and rebranding. Do you have any advice and thoughts on that?
Yeah, Championship Martial Arts. Become a licensee today. Thank you, Pat.
Drop.
Yeah, there's a way to rebrand. And by the way, let me just bust everyone's ego. None of you have a brand. You're not Nike. You're not McDonald's. You don't have a brand. I had my schools. Frank Silverman had his schools. We both had been in business for like 10 years. Partners in education, partners of the year separately. He was Central Florida Championship Karate. I was Internal Power Martial Arts. When we decided to merge in one weekend, we had people rip down all the vinyl on our windows, rebranded, threw away all the uniforms. And by Monday, we were now Championship Martial Arts. Nobody even knew the difference. There's no brand, you know? I know you think you have it, but it's not going to do anything to your success or detriment if you want to change your name to something a little more fitting. And by the way, that we felt Championship Martial Arts was more fitting because I came from a Taekwondo background. He came from a karate background. But then over the years, we've implemented some kickboxing. I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu every day, every week. I've been training that since 1996. And so like when you do that, we're not Taekwondo anymore. We're not karate anymore. We have licensees that are Kung Fu. So martial arts, we felt encompassed, you know, everything.
Do other schools have issues with adult students getting laid off and having to drop out around October and November?
I'm sure somebody does. I've never saw specifically October and November, or I've never seen any time of year where there was a big layoff drop off. The only time I see schools that are in our network, our CMA licensees or our MAIA elite clients, where that we have to really be, there's some strategy involved, is when people are near a military base and there's a lot of transient people getting shipped out and there's a lot of adults. And so you just got to understand how to work with that and maximize the value for them, but the revenue for you, if you're in a transient kind of situation like that. But no, I don't see layoffs like that.
Last two, what CRM do you recommend?
Listen, I recommend you look at all the CRMs. Somebody asked, which one do we use? We use My Studio, and we have a lot of reasons why, but I'm not going to tell you that's the one you need to do. but we use My Studio, but there's a lot of CRMs, and you got to find who fits your culture, service, your needs, and be smart. Be smart about it too, right? You just do your homework.
Last one, how often to increase tuition?
It all depends on what you're currently charging, when you increased last, and what your demographic is, and how many times you get price objections. And by the way, the value. I'll be honest, I just had a meeting with Nick Peterman this morning, and I told him we have a program price, but it breaks down to $199 down, $169 a month for a basic program. I said, right now, I told him this morning, this is how transparent I am. I said, I'm not going to ever raise our rates to 200 because I don't feel like we provide enough value to do that right now. I don't believe to the average customer, non-martial arts person that walks into our school that we show the value well enough on the trainings that we put our people doing, what we do, to justify raising our prices higher until we can translate it to the customer. I just told him that this morning. So it's not about what other people charge. It also depends on, show me the value. What is it that you do? What do you do above and beyond what other martial arts schools do? I said to Mr. Peterman, I said, hey, I told everybody, I want everyone called personally to wish them a happy holiday, and I want a handwritten postcard to wish everyone a happy holiday. I said to him, I go, did our people do it? And I said, no, they didn't do it. I said, so guess what? The other school down the street probably didn't do it. No one else did it. Until we're doing all that stuff for customer service, I'm not raising the rate. So I'm just being honest.
All right. Those are all the questions.
Thank you guys so much. Listen, the link is there. I hope we can get 5 more of you to join the MAIA family and show you. Somebody said, I need to see it to believe it. And I know a lot of clients chimed in. If you can't risk $1,500 over the next 90 days, when I'm telling you we will generate you more than $12,000, more than that in the next 90 days, you either believe me or you don't. And the only way you can see it to believe it is by trying. Maybe I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, come on to our next webinar and put it in the chat box. Metzger bullshitted me. He was wrong. He got me for $1,500 and I didn't do it. And then I will probably say, sir, you never answered your calls. That's probably what I would say. Okay. So anyway, I hope we can get 5 more of you. I'd love to see you guys in the new year, and I'd love to see you in March, but I hope this helped. It is recorded. I hope the giveaways help. I hope you got some good things out of this. I love it. I love helping you guys. And as you can see, I can talk forever because I'm passionate about this, but I appreciate all of your time, and I wish all of you a very happy holiday.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. That wraps up the Academy Intensive. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.